1.1. What is money? Money is an acceptable way of paying for products or services. Money has value, which can either increase or decrease based on how it is being managed. A system of money generally used in a particular country is called a currency, and each country has a name for its money. The Rand is the official currency for South Africa. The sign of the Rand is the letter R, and the code is ZAR, which stands for Suid-Afrikaanse Rand. In Botswana, the official currency is Pula, and the code is BWP, which stands for Botswana Pula. And the United States of America, it is called the United States dollar, and the code is USD, which stands for United States dollar. In the South African context, we have money in the form of notes and coins. Notes are in the form of paper money, which mainly represents large sums of money. Examples are 10, 20, 50, 100, and 200 Rand. Coins are in the form of metal, which mainly represents small sums of money. Examples are 1 cent, 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, 1 Rand, 2 Rand, and 5 Rand. Note: minting and circulation of 1 cent and 2 cent coins by the South African Reserve Bank ceased as at 31 March 2002. 1.2. How is money made? The country's central bank, called the South African Reserve Bank, SARB, is responsible for designing, printing, minting, and regulating the circulation of money. There are also commercial banks such as FNB, Absa, Capitec Bank, Standard Bank, and Nedbank, where ordinary people like you and I can register to have a bank account used to save and borrow money for ourselves and our businesses. These commercial banks are the ones with a direct link to the central bank. Even children are allowed to have bank accounts that their parents manage on their behalf until they are legally qualified to manage them on their own. There are also other types of banks, such as mutual banks, but we will not focus on them in this book. The critical thing to note is that the currency value differs from country to country based on how the government manages its resources. This is called an economy. Tables 1 and 2 on the next page demonstrate the top 5 wealthiest economies in Africa and the world. Table 1. Top 5 wealthiest economies in Africa as at October 2020. Reference from www.aerioflight.com. Number 1. Nigeria. Number 2. South Africa. Number 3. Egypt. Number 4. Algeria. Number 5. Morocco. Table 2. Top 5 wealthiest countries in the world as at August 2020. Reference www.gfmag.com. Number 1. Qatar. Number 2. Macau SAR. Number 3. Luxembourg. Number 4. Singapore. Number 5. Ireland. 1.3. Uses of money. Savings. This should be the first thing you do with every money you receive. At least 20% of the money should be saved. This means if you receive 100 Rand, 20 Rand should be saved. Buying or spending on yourself and or others. This can be up to 60% of the money received. This means if you receive 100 Rand, 60 Rand can be used to spend on yourself and others. You can use this money for buying yourself food, clothes, and gifts. Donating or giving to the less fortunate. The suggested ratio is 10%. This means if you receive 100 Rand, 10 Rand can be donated to the people in need. Depending on your religion and denomination, offerings or tithing might apply. 1.4. Tax. This might not apply to you at this stage, but it is important to understand that most adults pay a certain percentage of their salaries or income to the government in the form of tax. This money helps the government run the country and provide services such as public healthcare facilities, road infrastructure, public schools, and public transport. Tax is collected by the South African Revenue Service, also known as SARS. 1.5. Income versus expenses. Income is money that you earn or given to you, also demonstrated in the payslip shown in Chapter 2. While an expense is a product or service that you pay for using money. Examples are shown below. Income, also known as money coming to you. The examples are allowance or lunch money, money gifts, wages, bonuses for good academic performance, and etc. Expenses, also known as money going out. The examples are buying stationery or airtime or data or birthday gifts, hairstyles or haircut or CVs, buying toiletries, loaning parents or guardian money, school or social outings such as movies, shows, and etc. 1.6. Savings versus investments. Savings are the money that you put aside for future use and not spend immediately. This money is what you will turn to in cases of financial emergencies. Investments are money that you put aside for a much longer term than savings and are usually not accessible without notifying the financial service provider. A practical example is shown below. A short-term investment is normally under 3 years. Examples include bank savings account, short-term fixed deposit, and etc. A medium-term investment is usually 3 to 5 years. Examples include medium-term fixed deposits, buying shares, also known as stocks, and etc. A long-term investment is more than 5 years, usually up to 10 years or more. Examples include buying a property for rental, tax-free savings account, long-term fixed deposits, buying shares, also known as stocks, and etc. Number 3. South African Revenue Service, also known as SARS, is a government organization that collects all tax. Number 4. You can use your money by saving, spending, or giving it to others. Number 5. You can invest your money for short, medium, or long term depending on your financial goals. Chapter Summary. 5 things to remember on money basics. Number 1. South African currency is called Rand with the code ZAR. Number 2. The central bank is called South African Reserve Bank, also known as SARB. Number 3. South African Revenue Service, also known as SARS, is a government organization that collects all tax. Number 4. You can use your money by saving, spending, or giving it to others. Number 5. You can invest your money for short, medium, or long term depending on your financial goals.